Hey, welcome back. I'd like to bring your attention to a motivational speaker, a triathlete, a special forces, a soldier to our country, a MFer man. I mean, he's big dog in the triathlete world. And he's a motivational speaker, and he also has several books. I find his story motivational, and I find his speaking ability really good. So if you have a male guy in your life, or you have somebody that likes, say, a hard shell, or not only that it has a hard shell, but has the information to back it up, that you need to change your life, you need to change your behavior. Maybe you need a little motivation from your alpha male. He's an alpha male, I call him. I really like his speaking style. You can find him on the YouTube, and you can look for his audiobooks. You can go to the library. I'm sure you would find it, or go to Amazon and purchase his books. But I really like his speaking style. He gets me motivated. I really like his all approach to changing your behavior, upping yourself, upping your game. And I found him in 2019, and he's my big top dog now, the guy that I'm looking up to as far as motivation this year in 2019. Because you always have to have a motivational guru, or somebody that you look up to, or something that keeps you motivated in your mindset, because it changes. It changes throughout your life. It changes where you're going on your, this healthy weight loss path, to keep our mind straight, so we don't go off in tangents, or we don't go off back to open up the door of the food beast. We always have to check ourselves, right? Check yourself at least once a week. That's why I say to myself, I got to check myself, got to open that door. I got to take a look in the mirror, because I'm not going back to that girl. No way. No way. People say, well, you weren't that fat. You weren't that fat. Well, you can say that. Yeah, you can say that. But I was on my way to a health emergency. Yes, I was. Yes, I was, sister. But I got myself in check, right? And I've been going 7 years. 7 years I've been taking care of me. Always got to check myself. Always have to reinvent myself. Yes, I do. I don't do the same thing all the time, because I get bored. I get bored as hell. So I just change it up. And I changed it up this year. Probably next year I'll change it up too. Because I don't want to go back to this girl, right? See those rolls? Some people like all those rolls, but I sure don't. No way. I can't go back to the sexy babe that I was years ago. And I sure can't go back to the lowest that I was in my honeymoon period, right? Can't go back to that honeymoon girl, because now that metabolic reset that I had the first year, the first 6 months is gone, right? So, yeah, I was 52 there. That's the real me, baby. That's the real me for hard work. Yeah, I look back on this my vision book, Racing Ironman. Trained for 3 years. So I know what it's like to be an alpha girl. Here's David Goggin.
field training, the U.S. Army Ranger School, where he graduated as enlisted honor man, and the Air Force Tactical Air Controller training. He entered Bud's Hell Week 3 times in 1 year, completing it twice despite a seriously damaged knee, multiple stress fractures, and a hernia. He served in combat in Iraq, was the bodyguard for the Iraqi Prime Minister, completed an ultra marathon with pneumonia, and once held the Guinness World Record for most pull-ups in 24 hours with 4,030. All in all, he's completed over 60 endurance and ultra-endurance events, often winning or at least placing in the top 5. And when he was asked how he's been able to accomplish so much, he says simply that he hated what he saw in the mirror enough to make a change. Having grown up bullied and abused both physically and mentally, by the time he graduated,
he was a fatty.
He was, by his own admission, broken and weak. But instead of accepting that, he turned inward, stopped saying woe is me, and got to work becoming the man he wanted to be. To do that, he learned to embrace suffering and leverage pain as a way to toughen his mind. And the resulting man that he has become and his indomitable spirit has so inspired the world that he has become the one that the driven among us hang on their mirrors as a reminder of just how much is possible. As iconic NFL coach Pete Carroll said, "In my pursuit to understand and learn from the greatest competitors in the world, he is the one that sets the standard." So please, help me in welcoming the man who once ran 205 miles in 39 hours without stopping, the author of Can't Hurt Me, the legend himself, David Goggins. Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm beyond excited to be doing the second go-around with you. The first one for me was utterly transformational. Just researching you and the way that your mind works. I'm really, I mean, as evidenced by the shirt I'm wearing, I really am that guy that like put your picture up, and it was just became this reminder.
Mindset that was indestructible. I had an armor plate in my mind. And it's about what you're saying to yourself, but it also comes with work. So whenever I was getting beat down, physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever I was going through, just saying, you know, so the mind has a governor, like a car. If you're driving a car and the car has a governor on it, the car may say 130 miles an hour, but the governor is set for 91. Once that governor sets to 91, the car starts doing this. The car wants to go. The car wants to go, but that fucking factory said, we're not going past 91. We have a factory, a nice governor in our brain, and it's a survival mechanism. It protects us from pain and suffering. The second we feel that shit, our mind says, oh no, this isn't fun. We should back off. We should sit down, find something more.
Isn't that right? Isn't that right? With us with weight loss, right? We have our surgery, get our mind all set up, we have a surgery, and some people say, oh my gosh, because the food, we can't eat the food, right? I made a mistake. You got to get your mind straight. You got to get your mind straight before you have the surgery. Get his audiobook and listen to him. Man, he's good. I just found him. I wish I would have found him a long time ago.
Comfortable. There's something about the mind. The mind has a tactical advantage over you at all times. At all times of your life, the mind has a tactical advantage over you. Why is that? It knows what you're afraid of. It knows your insecurities. It knows your deep, dark lies. And it starts to push you away from that shit. It pushes you in a direction that is comfortable. The mind controls everything. So what I realized was that when I was growing up and I was 300 pounds and I got all fat and I got all insecure, I realized that my mind kept taking me in this direction when things get.
So when you say, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about, he's one of us. He has been there. So he knows.
And uncomfortable for me, when I was facing my insecurities, I was facing my fears, my mind said, oh no, we have a tactical advantage. We need to get you, separate you from this feeling of your life. It's all about feelings. You want the happy feeling. We don't want that feeling of this sucks. Why am I here? And you don't have any, so you can't answer those questions, so you leave. I started realizing that if in that moment you can answer those fucked up questions, and you are now in charge of your brain versus your brain ruling you, that's where all that stuff comes from. So the 40% rule is all of that. You get to 40%, your brain says, we're done. Let's roll, man. This is starting to get painful. This is uncomfortable. So you sit down. You have to figure out ways. Everybody's different. That's how the book kind of talks about. Like we all have these things about, 5 steps to this and 4 steps to this. It's not more than that. That's all bullshit. It's a practice that you have. It's a habit. So if you know that at 40%, I'm feeling pain. At 40%, I'm feeling pain. That's where the 40% rule kicks in. Now it starts. Okay, I'm feeling pain. My mind's saying all this shit to me. It's saying, get out of here, run, leave. The fight or flight kicks in. Okay, we're done. We're not good enough. It starts telling you all these things. You start to believe it because the mind controls all. This is the time we have to gain control back in your mind. It's okay. Let me see if I can go 45%. And once you start giving yourself more.
Man, he speaks the truth. He speaks the truth on the kind of shit that we go through all the time, don't it? At least I go through it. 7 years out. I got to play with this mind all the time. And I got to fight this mind because why? Because weight loss. Staying on a healthy path. It's all about the mind, right? If we can control that, we can control our stomachs. So I'll link a card. Search them on the YouTube. You'll find a lot of information in there. See you in the next video.